Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us here on the Morning Woodward Show on the Woodward Sports Network. Also featured on the Roar on 99.1, 93.5, and 94.7 HD2. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. I missed you guys. I'm not going to lie. Fish, not you. Don't clap.
I knew there was a
I didn't
caveat.
think so. Yeah, not shocked.
What's up?
And look at that face, Madison's face. How could you not miss that? It's so.
Let's not push it with compliments this
Don't
morning.
push it, Terry.
It looks so cheerful and inviting on a Monday morning, and by Friday you're sick of it.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's why I was sick last Friday. It was because of Maddie's face.
I'm at least flattered that you gave me until Friday and wasn't like, and on Tuesday we're sick of her.
Right? Yeah.
You get a
and that's
whole
just a
week.
love tap.
You get a whole week. It's not bad. Look, Friday, obviously I wasn't here. I missed out on a ton. The
Yeah, you
Lions
did.
schedule release. Super unfortunate. So, Terry, we'll start with the Lions. Then we'll get into the Tigers, by the way, who swept the Orioles over the weekend. That was interesting and nice to see.
About time.
About damn time. But, Terry, we do have to revisit Thursday night's news. Schedule comes out. The Lions don't get a single primetime game, even though I didn't see a big deal in it. I'll focus more on the start to the season.
And Dan Campbell didn't have a problem with it either.
I think that's good. I actually have no issue with it. Who cares?
He's looking at it from a coaching perspective.
Oh, you get so much more
Coaches
time.
Don't like primetime games because players are edgy and they're ready to go by 11 in the morning, and then you got to wait until 8:30 or 9 o'clock.
You
at
have
night.
to
They don't
play
like
about 4 to 6 primetime games as a head coach before you understand this is how we prepare for it.
Right.
And this is how I get my players not to sleep in too much, not to overextend themselves, not to use up too much energy. But beyond the point, let's get into the schedule. Open up against Philadelphia. There was, leaks all week. It seemed like it was Philadelphia. Ended up being Philadelphia at home, not on the road, which is very cool. They open up against 2 NFC East opponents, Philadelphia and Washington. Now, Terry, I'm not going to sit here and bore you breaking down single game by game, telling you they're going to win, they're going to lose.
Because we'll change our minds by August.
From now till August, I have no issue. I'm not even going to consider going over the schedule win by win, loss by loss. Doesn't matter to me. But they have 5 games before their bye week, which I thought was really interesting. Week 6 is their bye week. So if I were to tell you guys, Jameson Williams doesn't play the first 5 games of the year, but he suits up for the remaining 12, I don't think I get objections. Do I, Terry?
Not for me.
And considering that schedule, yeah, Jameson Williams should miss the first 5 games, actually. That was actually my biggest takeaway from the entire schedule was the Jameson Williams rehab timeline.
That was not my first one, but I still respect you.
Yeah, look, Philadelphia, Washington. I'm going to qualify these teams as these are games you should be in, right? I'm not going to sit here and tell you you should beat a certain team, especially the Chicago Bears, considering you haven't beaten them in a long time, but we don't need to get to that.
Yeah, but the NFL, you're in
Any given
most
Sunday,
games.
of course. Any given Sunday. But these are teams that are all, I think, in very similar positions. These aren't Super Bowl contenders. Philadelphia, definitely not. Washington, definitely not. Minnesota, I think, will be division contenders this year. I don't see them as a Super Bowl team. Seattle is in the first year of a full rebuild. And then there's New England. Your first legitimate, I would say, very well-coached team. Week 5.
We think. Because I think they're in decline.
Well, I don't think they got better than last year, and I think that's a problem unless Mac Jones gets a lot better, which
Right, and plus they got
tough to expect from a rookie.
MF as the offensive coordinator.
Oh my God, that's
disturbs me.
right. Matt Patricia's there. Oh, they're Patriots are tanking.
I actually think the Lions are going to win that game.
Really? Yeah.
Yes.
And you know what's funny, Terry, is when these schedules are released, everybody tries to lock down the games. This is a winnable game. This is a winnable game. If you think like that, every game is literally a winnable game. By the way, there's no such thing.
That's the NFL. It's the pass-fail league.
But if I told you, in my mind, I look at the first 5 games, Jameson Williams, I don't think should play. Unlike, again, if he's ready, put him out there, Terry. Right? If he's 100% ready, cleared for contact, cleared for everything, go for it. Put him out in week 3, week 4. I have no issue.
According to you, he's going to be ready for training camp. So why would he?
According to his doctor, he's going to be ready for training camp. That's not my words, Terry. But again,
you fell for the fake.
Hey, I'll take it. Week 6 is their bye week. That is a very friendly bye week, and the first 5 games of the year are very, very friendly. Very friendly games. And we talk about, Terry, what are your expectations going into a season? What to expect from a rebuild, team that's rebuilding? Every team is rebuilding in the NFL every single year. Some teams call it rebuilding. The smart ones call it retooling. And the teams that retool are the ones that sacrifice a few picks for really talented players. Teams that have the core personnel in place that they can build around. And I think the Lions are entering a stage where moves from here on out should not be considered part of, quote-unquote, the rebuild. I think this is a team that's establishing talent. I think it's a team that's establishing a culture, even though I still think winning must be a big part of that. I don't think you can establish a culture by losing a ton of games. But beyond the point, we're 5 games into the schedule release. And even the crack man himself would look you in your face and tell you they could win every single game. Now, that's crack man, right? That's a very optimistic mindset. But I see their first 5 games, and I don't think they could have asked for an easier start to the season. In my opinion, 3 of those 5 games are home games. They're on the road to Minnesota, which is a divisional opponent. They're familiar with Minnesota. That's not overwhelmingly challenging. And then away to New England, which you think they have a chance to win. Cool. I am not too concerned with New England, who has better offensive weapons, New England or Detroit. I would check the box on Detroit. Who's got the better quarterback play? I think it's fair to say it's about an even matchup. I don't think one quarterback is significantly better than the other where you have an advantage. Who has the coaching head-to-head? Obviously, you got to give it to Bill Belichick out of respect. All right.
No, you got to give it to him not out of respect, but out of production. How about that?
On the resume over the last 3-5 years, yes, for sure. He's not going anywhere. The guy can still coach. Defense? I think you have to say New England to an extent, just because, again, coaching. They're going to be very good on defense. So you check the box, like, all right. Well, we're going to have to rely on the offense. 5 games, Terry.
Now, let me ask you, when you were sick, did somebody sprinkle angel dust on you?
No, why?
You come in all nice and cheery and, the Lions, boy.
You know what? Friday was tough for me. I never missed a show before. That one sucked. So I spent the weekend really appreciating what I get to do every day.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah, so come in Monday with a different attitude.
So do you appreciate fish now?
No.
All right.
Gary, he'll never appreciate it.
I don't think it will go that far.
Oh,
No.
man.
And it does not.
Oh, man. Look, you're 5 games in. I'm not going to give you a record, but what I'm going to tell you, Detroit, is you couldn't have asked for an easier 5 games. Now, maybe you want to throw in Jacksonville to the mix. Who cares? 3 home games in your first 5 going into the bye week, and then you come out at Dallas, and then home to Miami and Green Bay. You then visit Chicago, you visit New York, and then Thanksgiving. By Thanksgiving, what I tell you guys all last year, by Thanksgiving, I can evaluate Dan Campbell. And what does that mean? That doesn't mean you fire him. No. Can he coach? I think you can figure out in under 2 full seasons whether a guy can show flashes of good coaching, quality decisions. I'm not asking him to win 13, 14 games in the division. No.
Yeah, only 12.
But what you can find out by Thanksgiving is, has this team improved not only in player development, which they showed a lot last year, not only in coaching up players, which they showed last year, but now are they starting to play winning football? Are they starting to be aggressive when it's required? Are they starting to make smart decisions? I don't know, punting on 4th and 2 from your own 20 would be a good start. But hey, what do I know? Improvements that Dan Campbell and his coaching staff are going to have to make this year. And I think, what do you have, 5, 10 games in, before the Buffalo game, I think is enough sample to say, all right, like you have something. Do you have a division winning coach? Do you have a Super Bowl winning coach? Way too early. But Terry, I'm telling you, 10 games in, that's now 27 games.
Is he competent?
You'll find out, at least if you don't have a complete disaster on your hand. Freddie Kitchens, you knew right away. You knew about week 4 into his first full season. You're like, oh, God, what do we do here? Cleveland will admit it. They know it. You can figure it out. And I don't think it's a disaster. I don't think this guy will be a complete disaster. Like some of the Hugh Jacksons, the Freddie Kitchens. Guys like hell, even guy from last year, Urban Meyer. I don't think you have that on your hands. Do you have excellent? Do you have very good? Do you have great? Who knows? But you're 10 games into the season, and you've played only 4 teams that have made the playoffs. 4 out of the 10 games, only 4 of them are teams that were in the playoffs last year. Okay, let's go down the stretch. Jacksonville, Minnesota, both at home. New York Jets on the road. Carolina on the road. Home to Chicago, and then, of course, he finished the season in Lambeau. That to me, if there was ever a year where the league handed you a schedule, Terry, and they said, here, win more games than you probably should have, that's the year.
As it stands now.
As it stands
but
now.
We won't know that in September, October, because whenever, I would say 5 times out of 10, these schedules flip. Teams that you think suck, they're like, oh, it's not a bad team, or
the
vice
Jets.
versa.
Jets would be my pick. I think the Jets are going to be better than they were last year. I think Minnesota's going to be a lot better. Chicago, I think, is going to be the worst team in the league this year. Carolina, I say Matt Rule is fired by the time Carolina play a game against the Detroit Lions. There's no chance in hell that team is going to figure it out. No wide receiving core. Sam Darnold's their quarterback. Christian McCaffrey's never available unless they just magically have the defense that they had to start the year. They all stay healthy, and the offense stays healthy. I don't see Carolina being a threat.
Well,
Miami's
Carolina. Maz has flipped. He wants Sam Darnold to the Lions now.
Please tell me you're joking.
I am.
Oh God, I would have thrown this. I would have thrown this water bottle right at Maz's head when I seen him this morning.
He deserves it.
Miami, another team I think will improve. But I have questions about their quarterback. I just do. I don't know what Tua can be in the league. I still don't know that yet. Dallas, no Amari Cooper. They paid Michael Gallup. I think Dallas takes a step back. I think Philadelphia improved. I think Washington will take a step back from last year, even with Carson Wentz. They just don't have enough talent on Washington. But hey, Chase Young could come back and be the missing piece on defense for them that they were missing last year. So a lot of these teams, you can tell me now, oh, the Jets are winnable. The Giants are winnable. Washington, Chicago twice, Carolina. It's extremely optimistic.
But guess what? When they play the Lions, those same teams are saying,
Absolutely.
Winnable game.
As they should. If I'm Philadelphia, I couldn't have asked for a better start to the season if it was a road game. At Detroit, a team that's coming off a 3-win season, that's kept most of their roster intact, that's added only a few free agents and did very well in the draft, to be fair.
And
but I don't have to worry about Jameson Williams. So, what am I focusing on? Oh, who'd Philadelphia draft? Jordan Davis?
Yes.
That should help you stop the run. Philadelphia, very difficult matchup week 1 for Detroit. Washington, I think Washington is in trouble. I don't think this is a team that's going to finish 2nd or 3rd in their division this year. I just don't see it. I think the Giants are actually going to be a better football team than them this year. Minnesota, always a tough game in division, on the road. Seattle, if you ever wanted to circle a game on a calendar, Detroit, that's the one. You can't win that game.
No,
Wow.
This is the year the Lions should beat Seattle.
You have to beat Seattle. Then you go to New England. Then you go to Dallas after the bye. But again, you have a full 2 weeks to prepare for Dak Prescott. By the way, speaking of Dak, remember, Terry, how complimentary we were of quarterbacks like this? Mm-hmm. Now we're on their asses. Why? They got paid. And when you get paid and you can't carry a football team, it gets tough. But that's the Lions' schedule. 17 games. I think you guys heard it from me already. 6 to 9, I think, is the floor and the ceiling. Anything more than 9, I would be extremely impressed. I wouldn't be surprised, though. Given 1, the schedule, and 2, I actually think this football team will be a lot better than a lot of people are giving it credit for. But we have to take a quick break. If you're watching live on Twitter and Facebook, switch over to YouTube. We'll be live strictly on YouTube moving forward. But before we go, I have to tell you that Maddie had an awful weekend because she didn't talk to me at all over the weekend.
Yes, I did.
Sorry to hear that.
She didn't check on me.
Yes, I did.
But what she did do, she made one good decision this weekend, and that was open a can of Cintron and enjoy it.
Yes, I did. That's for sure. I headed over to my local Kroger where Cintron is on sale right now, 2 for just $4. It's an absolute steal. This is the summer of Cintron. Make sure you pick some up while you're shopping. Cintron is a new energy drink for the active lifestyle. Drink it, live it with Cintron.
Hi, I'm Kay Cunningham. I'm proud to partner with Hall Financial, the mortgage company known for 5-star service. Don't just take my word for it. Check out their 5,000 5-star reviews for yourself. Go to callhallfirst.com and get started with your 5-star experience today.
New to the game or a season better? OddsTrader.com has everything you need to make the right bet ahead of kickoff. Begin your handicapping journey with OddsTrader. Improve your edge by finding the best price on every game from sportsbooks in your backyard. Take advantage of the numerous sign-up bonus offers to pad your bankroll. Dive into key game statistics, player performance, and even account for the projected game day weather. Best of all, you can use the OddsTrader Bet Tracker to keep a log of your action. Welcome to OddsTrader, and best of luck.
Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball.
Well, it may only be 8:17 in the morning, but you can still eat wings for breakfast. You can get them from Wing Snob. That's where you'll find fresh, juicy, hormone-free chicken. They have the best traditional wings in the game. Try out their signature sauces, Jamaican jerk or lemon pepper. Their wings are tossed to perfection in any sauce that you may choose. When the wings are this good, you're allowed to be a snob. Order online now at wingsnob.com. Wingsnob, we just have better wings.
Wings and football. How do you not?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what was amazing over the weekend. The Tigers swept the Baltimore Orioles.
I don't know how.
By the way, that's how you play baseball. All right? When the bats aren't all that great, you field well, you pitch well, and you rely on the middle of your lineup to do the work. Miguel Cabrera, by the way, carried that team over the weekend. 2 doubles, 2 home runs. Terry. Thank God. I couldn't handle the losing. 9-23 start. Now they're 12-23. I'm not saying they're going to the goddamn wild card. They're not. But God damn it. They at least won a series. And not only did they win it, they swept them. I'll take it.
Well, yes. However, let me caution you. It was the Baltimore Orioles. Traditionally one of the worst teams in baseball. I want to see what they do on the road now. I think they have Tampa and some teams who can actually play, teams that have pitching, teams that can shut them down. At some point, you've got to beat bad teams. They lost to Oakland, who was bad. And then they finally got it against the Baltimore Orioles.
They lost 4 or 5 to Oakland, didn't they? Yeah,
4 or 5.
God.
Only game they won was a doubleheader, and it's hard to lose a doubleheader or win a doubleheader. So,
are we going to talk about Tarek Skubal being the ace of this team?
Well,
it's pretty damn obvious.
They were battling on Bally's. Do you call him an ace or not?
I don't know.
Most teams, no. On this team, yes. How can you not?
His stuff is insane. First of all, check that box for an ace. 3 hits, 11 strikeouts. Yeah, that's what an ace looks like. He gives you quality innings, doesn't give up many hits, strikes out a ton of batters. He's got the best stuff on this rotation. It's not even close. It's not even close. He's their best pitcher. He's absolutely their best pitcher.
So
now,
do you call him ace?
He's their ace.
Or just okay.
But I think he has the talent to become an ace. Yes.
Or just the #1 pitcher on a bad
I think this
team.
is a guy in the next 2 years that can go 6 innings a night, 8 to 10 Ks easily. His stuff is that good. His stuff is that good, and the Tigers were that good over the weekend. They pitched well. Torkelson, a lot of talk of setting him down for the road trip. I'm not sure if I'm ready to pull the trigger there. This is an entire team that is struggling, and I don't think with a 22-year-old, this isn't a 19-year-old coming into the league and you're trying to protect. It's a 22-year-old, a young adult.
You still try to protect him, though.
Yeah, you can try to protect him all you want, but eventually he's got to hit the ball. And yes, good plate discipline.
Maybe.
Yes, he's getting a walk a game. Cool, I like it. Got to make contact. And I think there are enough veteran batters around him and veteran coaches that can get him through this 140, 150 slump. I don't see...
Yeah, but Toledo, for whatever reason, has a reputation of riding people. They did it with Max Scherzer. They've done it with other hitters. Well, you just go down for a week or two. You know, it's not saying you're destined to stay there the whole season. But if they can fix something, they have time to fix something, why not? But I think they tried to scare the young man a little bit because they're going on a road trip. And maybe he showed them enough where it's not necessary now. But, you know, you got to put a little fear in young guys.
Yeah.
Veterans, they're like, F you. I'm not falling for that fake.
Yeah, I guess you can pump fake them if you want, but at the end of the day, solid 3 wins over the weekend. Miggy. We're going to talk about Miggy carrying the team right now? He is their best hitter.
Yeah, but he's still not hitting well.
But that's the sad part.
He's not hitting well, but he's carrying the team.
Hey, 2 home runs over the weekend. Powers there. Beautiful shot to left center on Sunday. He's playing well. There's pop in the bat. And you know what? When there's runners in scoring positions, he's been their most consistent hitter all season.
I'm not willing to say he has pop in the bat.
A little bit.
He has 3 home runs this year.
Hey, two over the last 3 games.
Against who?
It doesn't matter who. You take your home runs. You take your home runs when you get them. Come on, Terry.
He hit 2 home runs during the series.
Yep.
He has 3 for the year. Not going to say pop in the bat. He had
Let me
some
rephrase
pop.
it. He looked alive for the series against Baltimore.
He wasn't a corpse. I'll give you that.
Yeah, look, anytime you win a series, it's good. When you sweep a team that, everyone expects you to, yeah, you're supposed to beat the Orioles. You were supposed to beat the Athletics. You got Toronto coming up. You find a way to win a series on this road trip. That would be impressive, but tough games ahead, Terry.
No, very tough. If they can finish 500 on this road trip, I think that would be a success for them, particularly with the way they've been playing. And, you can't lose every series. So at some point, you've got to beat good teams. You've got to show some consistency as hitters.
Yep.
And they have not done that.
Well, they're on the road to Tampa Bay. Then they're on the road to Cleveland. And then they're on the road to Minnesota. That 6-game stretch between Cleveland and Minnesota.
Don't say it.
I think that's, unfortunately, it's season defining for the Tigers because they had such a bad start to the year. They lose both of those series, Terry. There's no AL Central possibility. It's done. And you don't want to put pressure on a team this early in the year, but what are they, 35 games in now? They're in last place. They're only 8 games behind the Twins, but again.
But that is so early in this. We always talk about how early in the season is. Yes, 8 games back this early in the season is a lot. It means you absolutely suck. So yes, 8 games, you can make up 8 games in 2-3 weeks. But when you have a team that gets behind by 8 games this early in the season, that's a problem right there. It shows you can be behind by 15 or 16 games by June unless you get it together.
Fair enough. Well, the NHL playoffs wrapped up the first round. 5 Game 7s over the weekend in the NHL. Connor McDavid and Edmonton advancing. Best player in the league. Austin Matthews and the Maple Leafs sent home, choking again.
Yeah.
No surprise for the Maple Leafs?
I would not say they choked. I would
They choked,
say
Terry.
no,
They
no,
choked.
no. You're
They
playing the defending Stanley Cup champions.
I don't care. They had a 3-2
And
lead.
It's
They
not
choked.
like they got their asses kicked. These were games that all went down to the wire, and
they still choked.
And I think the commentators did an injustice to us. They said Tampa Bay did everything they could that a Stanley Cup champion is supposed to do to win a series. They were lucky that Toronto didn't tie it. Toronto pressed the action for most of that last game. So that's why I don't call it a choke, because when you look at what was happening on the ice, Toronto's like holding their own and was probably the better team and most of that game in Game 7.
Yeah,
but
they still choked.
In hockey, sometimes you just don't score that damn goal.
Yeah, like
We say they choked because
they were up
we don't
3-2.
like
Yeah.
them.
Game 7 at home.
Yeah, you have to win
Detroit
that
fans
game.
should be familiar. They blew a 3-2
Yeah.
lead against Pittsburgh and lost the Game 7 on home ice. So, been there, done that. We know the feeling with, I would say, much more higher stakes and consequences. But the NHL had an amazing opening first-round series. We'll get to the NBA playoffs a little later, but
I lost my breath watching the NHL playoffs.
yeah,
Oh, it was great stuff.
You lost your breath watching the the NHL playoffs. I was dying watching the NBA playoffs. It was just not exciting at all. That was not the Game 7 that you dream of as a kid or as a fan when you're thinking, oh my goodness, a spot in the Western and Eastern Conference Finals on the line. I'm getting Game 7. It's going to be an amazing game. Both teams lose by the time the first half is over. I don't know. Unbelievable. We need to take a break. When we get back, we'll discuss why I don't have a problem with the Detroit Lions not having a primetime game. But before we do, Maddie, could you tell everybody at home about Guardian Alarm?
Yes, I can. Guardian Alarm keeps you safe and gives you peace of mind. Whether you're at home or on the road, their 24/7 local monitoring makes sure what's important to you is safe. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT for peace of mind. That's right, you heard Fish. 1-800-STAY-OUT right now and let them know that Woodward Sports sent you.
Cintron is the official energy drink of the Red Wings, proud partners of the Detroit Pistons, and exclusively served at Little Caesars Arena. If you're looking for premium ingredients, long-lasting energy, balanced hydration, essential vitamins, and great taste, Cintron is your top choice.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Welcome back, and thanks for joining us on the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Adam, I would just like to say thanks for finally getting your hair cut.
Yeah. I
was
really
necessary.
wanted to. I'm a very busy person, and finding a half hour of my day is tough enough. And then when you get sick, it makes it even more difficult.
Mm-hmm.
But came here Sunday and got it taken care of. I didn't want to look like a zombie for all of you. I know I'm tough to look at. I get it, but you know.
Yeah, like you guys
think it
make fun
helps.
of me, but then it's like, really?
You still
Who
got
would
the
you
Barney
rather
Fife
look at?
going. You know what that is?
No,
That
What?
little dipsy doodle right in front
Dipsy Doodle.
whatever that is.
I have no idea.
It's that little strand that's going across.
Oh, this.
Yeah, that's what Barney Fife used to do.
Yeah,
when he
my
was trying to
hair.
be sexy.
My hair's a mess during the summer.
Why?
Because it just curls up. I have curly hair.
I mean, you've seen. I do
Yeah,
too.
you know, we don't need to get into that. So we're just going to start the topic now.
You should probably start by not putting your hair in curlers at night.
I don't. Believe me, I don't.
You imagine Adam
that
with
would
the
be a
pink
sight to
curlers all
see.
in his head?
With
With
aluminum
the shower
foil.
cap on over it.
Oh God. Oh God. No primetime, no problem for the Detroit Lions. They're not scheduled for any primetime games. They're the only team in the NFL, by the way, not to be featured in a primetime game, I believe. Terry, you have a problem with it?
I have no problem with that. I always go back. If you live in Albuquerque, San Diego, anywhere around the nation, and you've had maybe a tough Monday, do you really want to see the Lions on a Monday night football game?
It's an interesting way of putting it, Terry.
I would say no. The only people who are butthurt are Lion fans. And, you know, you can talk about, I mean, Monday night is special or Sunday night is special. You know, even though they're overrated, you do want to see Dallas. You want to see the Rams. You want to see Green Bay. You want to see teams that have accomplished something and are playing for something. The Lions will improve. I don't think they're going to be playing for anything. They're not at the forefront of NFL fans' interest. You don't think about the Detroit Lions all week like, man, what are the Lions going to do this week? I can't wait to see them play. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, the Lions are like the Bills. I'll put it into this perspective.
I'd rather see the Bills play.
Well, the Bills have sucked for the longest time, right? After the 1990s, they were so good in the 90s, 4 straight Super Bowl losses. And then the 2000s, they were one of those teams that just weren't good at all. They just weren't, and you never saw them in primetime games. And then what happened? They started winning games, and then they got a franchise quarterback. And then they started making runs for the division, and they won the division. And then they won playoff games, and now you see them flexed 3, 4, 5, 6 times a year into primetime games. Of course they're going to be there because they're a winning team. The Lions just aren't. People saying, Terry, the Steelers aren't 5 primetime games. They're the Steelers.
Right.
Black and yellow. Like, growing up, you all watched the Steelers on Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night. Like this, there is something called brand reputation. The Lions don't have any right now. They don't. When they were winning, they opened up the season on Monday Night Football before. Remember the Giants?
Well, here's the other thing. The Steelers used to stink, too. Before Terry Bradshaw, and he's like 80 now. So they have been contenders for decades. They've been a team where you may not think they're going to win it, but you know what? They're going to be in the picture. So they have a rabid fan base. They have a national following. They even have a following here in Detroit where on Sundays, a lot of Steeler fans have specific sports bars they go to that they're going to put the Steelers on and won't have the Lions on. So I'll ask you this question. I'm going to give you a case of beer. You drink beer?
Oh, yeah.
All right. You got a case of beer. I'm giving it to you on a Monday night.
Hell yeah.
Would you rather watch Buffalo, New England, or the Lions and Minnesota?
Do I get to play too?
I think you drink enough, so we're going to
tell
pass.
you what. I'm going to give you a bottle of vodka.
Oh.
What would you rather watch on a Monday night? Lions, Minnesota, or Buffalo, New England?
Well, I'd rather watch the Lions regardless.
She's
but that's me being a fair weather fan.
She's a the real answer here is Buffalo, New England, because Buffalo has Josh Allen. That's a primetime game. Fantasy implications. There's tons of reasons why outside of just the game of football. I think New England fall off this year, so it maybe has less divisional impact. Maybe the same as Minnesota, Detroit, but yeah, I'd rather watch Josh Allen light up the New England
some
Patriots.
People still think Tom Brady plays for New England.
Yeah, those
so
people
that's
I
why,
can't help.
But I didn't say every NFL fan was smart or up to date. I never said that.
Yeah, what I would say to the New England Buffalo game is Josh Allen, his last 14 possessions against New England, all touchdowns. Yeah, give me that. Give me more touchdowns. Minnesota, Detroit, if it was the thriller that it was, even though Mike Zimmer handed the Lions the game last year, that would be cool to see on a primetime event. But again, I think you got to earn your stripes a little bit before you get thrown into primetime. The Lions are coming off a 3-win season. I mean, let me put it this way. Terry, it's a tradition to finish the season against Green Bay, yes?
Yes.
That's why they're consistently never in a primetime slot. Notice last year, weren't they on Monday Night Football, if I recall correctly? Yes, they were.
Yeah.
Why? Because they played Green Bay in Lambeau early in the season. when you play Green Bay in week 18 now, the odds of that game having any meaning is essentially zero. That's why you don't get a quote-unquote guaranteed primetime game. Minnesota gets primetime games, even Chicago. Why? They play Green Bay. They play Green Bay in the middle of the season.
Well, normally Green Bay's resting players when they play the Lions.
That's the problem. And we've only seen it one time. Terry, correct me again if I'm wrong. I want to say 2014 we saw a primetime game. Green Bay, Detroit, both were 11-4, yes?
It may have happened before, yes.
That was Caldwell's first year. And they lost that game. If they would have won, they would have won the division. But my point, yeah, I have no issue with it. If Dan Campbell says, hey, it's better for us, we get more rest, cool, that's fine. That's not my issue to worry about. But I think you have to earn your stripes to get primetime games. And the way you do it is by having one of two things. A franchise-changing player, or you just have a winning football team. And right now, the Lions don't have either. The Lions don't have a player that is going to be featured on ESPN, Fox, NFL Network, Amazon. What, Penei Sewell? Aiden Hutchinson?
Or the cover of Sports Illustrated.
One's a rookie, the other's going into his second year. Come on. That needs time too, right? You don't have a quarterback people are glamoring over. You don't have a guy, let's be real, fantasy football does play a part in TV ratings. It absolutely does. Josh Allen is a fantasy football machine. People want to see him in a primetime event. Absolutely. Jared Goff, I don't think he's playing a significant role in people's fantasy leagues this season, unless you're really desperate for a quarterback.
And plus, if you're watching prime time, is Jared Goff going to make a play where you go, damn, did you see that? Unbelievable.
Yes, but just not in a good way.
Well, you know what I mean.
Just not in a good way.
They're going to say, damn, son, that dude can play.
So, yeah, look, I have no problem with them not having enough, quote-unquote, prime time. Hell, they have zero. And, look, they get Thanksgiving every year. And I think that's one of the best games of the year to play always. Granted, they lose a lot. You don't have to talk about it. But I think it's a good tradition. I do. I think that's something the NFL should keep, by the way. I'm not sure why people are clamoring over why the Lions play on Thanksgiving.
Because it's the Lions. And even though people watch the game, you know, it's the same reason for primetime. They want to see a better team playing on Thanksgiving. But the thing is, the NFL is addictive, so people are going to watch that game anyway. They're going to bitch about it, but then they're going to sit down and watch it.
Yeah, I'm watching. And, again, I think I'm speaking for most football fans. Not all, but most. If there's a game of football on the TV, and it's not it's not two bottom-feeding teams. For example, if I had to watch Jacksonville and Detroit play on Thursday night last year, I probably would have killed myself. I would not have enjoyed that at all. There are games, there are matchups that absolutely suck. But a majority, 95% of the time, there's a football game on TV, I'm watching it. I am. That's why it's the best sport. That's why it's the best league. That's why they do the best ratings. That's why.
I'm not watching Jacksonville. I may as well be watching the USFL. At least last year.
Yeah,
I'm
for sure not
they'll
last.
stink again this year, too.
Oh, man. It's also interesting, by the way, Terry, I want to say it's after week 5, you can get flexed for any given primetime game, correct? I thought
it was later than that.
Well, they typically don't, but for example, if they had a docket where it was Buffalo, New England, for Sunday Night Football, let's say it was week 7. This is hypothetical. I'm not sure if that's even a thing right now. And New England is 0-6, and Buffalo's 6-1 or 5-1. You would flex that out for Washington, Dallas, or teams that have a game at 4:25 or on, and you would just flex them up to Sunday Night Football because it makes no sense to have a meaningless game played on primetime football. Does that make sense?
It makes
sense. So they give
sense.
themselves the option just in case a disaster happens. But when they're making the schedule, they're looking at teams and saying, oh, all right, this game probably matters in week 6. Unless it doesn't, then they flex it out. But you see a lot more flexing down the stretch, Terry, because teams are now in division title races, wild card races. Remember the Chargers-Raiders game got flexed last year. So it happens. Of course it happens. And if the Lions have the season a lot of people expect them to have, they could get flexed into a primetime slot.
Yeah, but those people live in Detroit. Most people don't believe the Lions are going to have this fabulous season.
And you know what? I actually think that's a really good thing because I'm actually one of the people that believe that Lions will be better than national and even local people expect them to believe. I think, again, I'll keep giving you my reasons. I think this team is going to be a pain in the ass to play against. Are they going to be much more talented than most teams? No, probably not. Are they going to wow you with spectacular quarterback play? No, probably not. Are they going to wow you with exceptional coaching? I don't see it, but who knows? Maybe. And what I see is a team that can run the ball and really control the clock. Nobody likes that. Nobody likes playing against a team, Terry, that can run basically on all 4 downs. If you get 3 yards of carry, you basically get a first down every single time.
Here, let me steal a line from Adam.
Go ahead.
The Lions are going to win some football games this year.
Well, that's not the line I thought you were talking about.
We do not have to go into that. The point is, I think this football team is actually going to be a lot better than people think. And I think the way they're going to play is going to cause a lot of problems. I think they're fast. I think they're very physical in the trenches. And those are 2 things you can't coach. I think those are 2 things you can't coach. You can only draft, and Brad Holmes done a good job drafting those pieces. But what we will do is take a quick break. When we get back, Jeff joins us this morning to discuss some NBA playoff action. But before he does, Maddie, could you tell everybody at home about our good friends over at Big Boy?
Yes, I can. The Strawberry Fest is back at Big Boy. If you didn't know, head on over. They brought back some classic items like their strawberry French toast, hot cakes, and waffle. And don't worry, if you're not feeling breakfast, they have lunch too. Strawberry bacon chicken wrap, crispy chicken wrap, nacho wrap, or even a strawberry salad. And how could we forget dessert? They've got a very delicious strawberry pie as well for just $1.99 with a purchase of $7.99 or more. Head on over to your local Big Boy.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
At Wing Snob, staying humble's not our forte. We just have better wings. We're back at it again with our crispy golden brown fries and our famous boneless wings. Juicy, tender, hormone-free chicken. Your favorite signature sauces with no bone. Just when you thought Wing Snob couldn't get any better. Order online at wingsnob.com today. Wing Snob. We just have better wings.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
All right, we're back here on the morning show. Jeff, good morning. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Looking good.
Thank you.
Sit up.
Hey, you know how last time I came in here with a hat on, I got flack for it. So purposely
that is unacceptable moving forward.
Terry,
Look,
Terry always has a hat on, so
there are 3 things I want to discuss this morning with Jeff and Terry. The first, I want to remove Chris Paul from the Isaiah Thomas conversation. Not that he was ever in it, but I feel for some reason I have to address it this morning. Second, we have to go over what the hell happened with Milwaukee. Yep. And, of course, number 3, what the hell happened with Phoenix. The worst slate of Game 7s I've seen in NBA.
You do have to address the Chris Paul, Isaiah Thomas thing because there were enough people talking about, Chris Paul's better than Isaiah, or he's the same as Isaiah.
Kick rocks, man.
I say kick rocks too, but enough
Isaiah is
clowns.
the second best point guard all time. And it's not even close.
Isaiah would have laid it
and
all
the only
on the
way
line.
Isaiah's status as the second greatest point guard of all time gets removed is if Steph Curry goes on and wins finals, MVP, and does it in spectacular fashion. At least then you can challenge for the number 2 spot. But until you carry a team like Isaiah Thomas did, and you change a franchise around like Isaiah Thomas did, and you win multiple championship, finals MVPs, till you do that, how about you don't talk to me at all?
How about this? Isaiah Thomas, we wouldn't be saying, oh, man, Zeke is tired. Mm-hmm. We would not be saying, even if he was, you would never know. Really?
His quad!
Really? You had to knock the table down?
Who gives a hell, Terry?
He had to get the point across.
I
Yeah,
guess
Chris
so.
Paul got worn out, man, and you saw that. I mean, I think it's a more mentality thing. I think looking at Chris Paul, you cannot look at Chris Paul and say he left it all out there. He did not leave it all out there. He wasn't even there, to be honest. Same with Devin Booker. But
you know
still.
what you don't question with Isaiah Thomas? If he's showing up for Game 7.
Absolutely.
He'll be there.
He'll be there. I don't have to worry. Devin Booker, Chris Paul starting 0 for 11 to start that game.
They didn't have a field goal at the half. Either one of them.
Yeah, way to go, guys. Way to show up.
And that
was the 2 worst Game 7s I've ever watched in my life.
Yeah.
They were probably the 2 worst Game 7s, period, in NBA history.
In the same day, yeah.
Yeah, I think you could throw them all the way down. Boston the Boston-Milwaukee game made no sense. Basically what happened, guys, is Milwaukee struggled without Chris Middleton. They don't have a legitimate perimeter threat.
Yep.
And Boston dared them to shoot. They couldn't. And Boston couldn't miss from beyond the arc. And Grant Williams looked like Game 6 Klay Thompson. The guy was just draining threes. It was unbelievable. Milwaukee didn't have a chance.
Yeah.
And Phoenix, I mean, they lost to a guy whose diet was, I don't know, McDonald's and cotton candy over the summer.
And that's Milwaukee's defense. I mean, they're going to make you live or die by the 3. And it seems Boston, in more than one game, has lived by the 3. So Milwaukee told them, hey, take them. We're going to completely shut down the paint. And Grant Williams, to your point, he just kept jacking up threes, and they kept going in. So analytical nerds love him because last night, that was the difference. I mean, they were plus 17 in the three-point category. Giannis didn't play very well, especially in the second half. But besides that, it was kind of the surrounding cast. You brought up Chris Middleton. They needed him last night. Boston just not only are they more complete team, but Jason Tatum is emerging. I mean, he's a superstar.
We always used to compliment LeBron James about his ability to play with not so much of a great supporting cast, especially in Cleveland. Mm-hmm. And I could have sworn maybe I was wrong. His teammates were hitting a ton of threes for him. Not that he can win without him, but
he creates those threes.
Of course, but last night I think was a great example, or excuse me, yesterday afternoon was a great example with Giannis. Brook Lopez was open, missed the threes. Mm-hmm. Drew Holiday missed the threes. Everybody was missing threes. Nobody could hit a shot if their life depended on it. Giannis was the only legit three-point threat. That's how pathetic the Bucks were in that game.
Here's the other thing that I saw. They were rushed. In the NBA, I'm not saying you should play at a slow pace, but you should play at your own pace. I thought Milwaukee and Phoenix were rushing things. They were rushing their offense.
Yep.
It's like, okay, we got to score within 3 seconds, and they're just throwing up crap.
Yeah.
Yes, and Brook Lopez, and when they got the open shots, they were missing those too. But for the most part, they're throwing crap up with people in their face, and they're doing one-legged things, and Doncic, it's like he plays in slow motion. But, he gets his shot off. He gets the rebounds.
Yeah,
he kills
he can create for others.
He could get off any shot he wanted. While Phoenix is going, ooh, we gotta shoot the ball.
You know when the series changed? When Devin poked the ball out of Luka Doncic's hands,
right,
in that dead ball, and he gave him that look, like, I'm coming after your ass. And he said it after the game, after Dallas was blown out. He said, everyone talks and loves it when they're up. I mean, it's all fun and games when you're up. Dallas comes out and wins the last 2 games. I mean, and especially to win in Phoenix. Every game so far in this series has been won at home. Phoenix won all their home games. Dallas won all their home games. Who would have thought you come into Phoenix and win by 30? I mean,
both games
big
were
time.
absolute blowouts, but let's talk about them.
Yeah.
The future possibly of the NBA. Maybe the guy that continues the international MVP streak right now. Luka Doncic. 37 points. I can't applaud the kid enough. He's
the most. Well,
that is what James Harden could never do. By the way,
Maddie.
Like you have to talk about it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
James Harden, Russell Westbrook. That is what you were missing. Being able to do that in Game 6 in an elimination game, and then come around and do it again in Game 7, that's why James Harden and Russell Westbrook are nothing but a bunch of bitches. They don't deserve to be in the top 75 in the NBA list.
No, that's a joke. That's what we've been told that's what they are.
Oh, they're not.
James Harden couldn't even do it against the number 1 seed in the East. I mean, Luka did it against the number 1 seed
James
in
Harden
the
can
NBA.
only do it against middle school players. Let's just be honest. He's not good. They're just not. Hey, by the way, now that James Harden has been sent home, can we take him out of the NBA 75? Is that a thing? Are we allowed to do that? Can we put Ben Wallace in there?
Hell,
can we put anybody?
Do it, but they don't belong. They didn't belong before.
God,
I don't know how they got in. You know what? It's the thing about the NBA is you get things based on hype. Westbrook and Harden are hype.
Brandon,
got the beard.
Brandon with a 10 out of 10 comment here. James Harden took the Warriors with Durant to Game 7. I think you remember the wrong series, bud. Actually, Chris Paul was the leader of that basketball team. Chris Paul was the reason they were up against Golden State. And Chris Paul getting hurt is why it cost them a finals appearance.
And your point still stands. Like Luka in that Game 7 and Harden in that Game 7, that's the difference. It's not about all the little arguments. You're talking about as the player. I mean, Luka Doncic in a Game 7. You saw what he did last night. Like they just approached the game differently. James Harden was nowhere to be found in their elimination game in Philly. So it's more so just a mindset thing. I mean, Luka is special. He is. I mean, to do what he's done the last 3 seasons. Like you said, an MVP's coming his way, man. His ability to affect the basketball court. And this is what I said. I mean, besides him and Ja Morant, I think I have more confidence in Luka because of what he can do in terms of a guard leading a team to the finals. I love Ja. I don't know. I think he might need some more help. But Luka, he could take this team to the NBA finals.
If you're looking for entertainment value, Ja Morant is it.
Absolutely.
But if you're looking for production and the fact that Luka, with his limited mobility, whatever you want to call it, can still get off any shot he wants, anytime he wants. Mm-hmm. And it may not always go in, but it's
James Harden shot 41% in Game 6 and 7 of that 2018 Western Conference Final.
There's the difference.
And they got blown out in both games. Kiss my ass.
Yep.
I don't want to hear it. I hate that we make excuses. Now, is this Phoenix team as good as that Golden State team? No, absolutely not. Is Miami as good as that Golden State team? Hell no. Is Miami as good as this Phoenix team? No. Mm-hmm. They're just a good basketball team. James Harden lost with Joel Embiid. Yes, Joel Embiid was hurt. Tobias Harris, Doc Rivers. Kobe said this a long time ago. You can't win with James Harden because of the way he plays basketball. Luka Doncic did what all of you wanted so bad for Russell Westbrook and James Harden and players like that to do. He did that. No, was Chris Paul injured? Look, I don't know. The guy's always injured at this point. Every time they lose, he's
here's
injured.
Another thing you need to look at James Harden. He's in this group. This guy is bouncing. I don't like players when they bounce from team to team to team. There's something wrong. But every time he bounces somewhere, this place is messed up. Then you go somewhere else.
Who is Luka Doncic's number 2, by the way? Does he have a number 2? Spencer Dinwiddie?
At this point, yeah. Spencer Dinwiddie.
Jalen Brunson?
Yeah.
Who is Luka Doncic's number 2 or 3? James Harden played with Russell Westbrook. James Harden played with Chris
Westbrook
Paul.
Can't play.
Still. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah. They built
Luka
rosters around him.
Doncic is winning. Let's be honest, guys. With an average cast. I don't want to hear it. He makes all of them better. The difference between Luka and James Harden is an exceptional offensive player. Yes, he is.
Just doesn't show up.
He doesn't make his team better. You can't win playing like that. And you saw Dallas win. Why? Why? Because Luka, yes, he sets up his own teammates. But guys, if you're actually going to sit here and defend James Harden this morning, I can't help you.
And Luka's
Maddie
can't say anything right now.
Oh, you're
she's
a Westbrook guy.
She's a Russell Westbrook girl.
And I thought what the Mavs did that was really impressive is they gave the ball up. Like they let Jalen Brunson, they let Spencer Dinwiddie run the pick and roll. Like it wasn't so ball dominant in terms of Luka Doncic. Yes, he had the ball a majority of his hands, but like Kobe said, you can't win like that. So the ability to have multiple ball handlers, Spencer Dinwiddie had a great night. Jalen Brunson came alive. They were making Chris Paul play defense. That's what's going to make them a dangerous team. They were one of the best teams since this start of this year. I still have the Warriors beating them, obviously, but I think Dallas can put up a fight. I mean, they're a hell of a team, man. I think there's a lot of comparisons between this team and LeBron.
Luka's in his third
when he
year,
took
correct?
Cleveland to the finals.
This
yes.
is Luka's third year or fourth year? I want to say it's his third year in the league.
Yeah,
no, maybe his fourth?
I don't know the exact. He's year 3 or 4, either one.
All right, well, no, it is his fourth year.
So 4, yep.
So his first 2 years, they lost in the first round, right? So this is his third playoff appearance. In his third year, he's in a Western Conference final. What was LeBron doing in his fourth year in the NBA? I want to say they were in the Eastern Conference final. It's not often this young you get to the pinnacle of your conference.
Yep.
It doesn't happen often.
It happened when LeBron, scored 25 straight against the Pistons.
And go compare this cast to the LeBron cast.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Like, again, we're going to say Luka couldn't get out of the first round before this year. Yeah, bitch, look what he's doing now.
And Luka did it in the West. I mean, there's a lot of good teams. And he did it against the number 1 defensive team in the NBA. So,
wow. They knock out Phoenix. DeAndre Ayton, another no-show. Booker, a no-show in Game 7.
Yeah.
I did not expect the Game 7s to suck that bad. I've never seen worse Game 7s in my life.
And if I had to pick one thing I learned, it's getting back to the NBA Finals it's tough. I mean, both teams lost last night.
Yeah, you learn to appreciate Golden State, LeBron, that era of basketball. A lot of people said they didn't like the same teams every year. Now you know how hard it is.
Yeah, it's a lot harder than it looks.
Yeah. Well, what's next for not only Doc Rivers and the 76ers, but Phoenix Suns? Devin Booker to Detroit, DeAndre Ayton to Detroit. Is that series loss what triggers Phoenix to maybe not qualify a restricted free agent offer on possibly DeAndre Ayton?
I think the way Phoenix looks at it, and Chris Paul, he's damn near almost 38 years old. They understand that their future is Devin and DeAndre Ayton. That's their future. How they perform this playoff series, whatever the case may be, they're going to want to bring back DeAndre Ayton because when Chris Paul does retire, these are the 2 guys that are going to lead your franchise. So I don't think it changes. They're going to try and sign DeAndre Ayton. What it means for Philly, I don't think it means much. They're in a predicament. I mean, they gave up assets for James Harden. He's going to come back, whether people like it or not. Doc Rivers already announced he's coming back. So I think you're going to see a very similar Philadelphia 76ers team, unless they can maybe trade Tobias Harris. They might tweak the team a little bit, but both teams are going to be very similar coming back next year. I don't see them making too much any moves. They're not going to get rid of Monty.
Are we not impressed? What are our takeaways with Luka? Because, this is a guy that you'd assume is the face of the league, the future.
Yes.
Are we impressed at all with what he's done in this playoff run? Or is it, hey, he got, to use Brandon's his words, a trash Utah team and an injured Phoenix team?
No, this guy is legit.
Yeah.
This is a future multiple MVP guy. I'm not going to call him MVP candidate. He's going to win it multiple times. But, once again, in the NBA, if you're a guy that can create your own shot, you got it made. And of course, you have to make them, but that's exactly what he does. But he doesn't do it with flash and dash. He's a positional guy. He'll drive to the cup. He shoots deep threes. This is going to be a guy that the NBA championship is going to run through.
Yeah. We talk a lot about teams or players wanting to come play with Cade Cunningham. Dallas doesn't have a number 2 right now.
They're going to soon.
Any superstar up and coming that's looking to leave their
Spencer
team.
Dinwiddie, he had a great career here in Detroit.
Let him go, too.
God damn it, Terry. Top of the hour, we need to head to break. When we get back, I'm going to tell you, Terry. I'm going to tell you why Aiden Hutchinson will win Defensive Rookie of the Year. But before I do, I got to tell you why I'm going to win a ton of money betting on it on my bookie. Sign up today using code Woodward. They'll match your first deposit. Bet from anywhere, anytime using my bookie. Again, that's code Woodward, and they'll match your first deposit. Get in line and start betting on the NBA and the NHL playoffs, or do what I'm doing. Take the over on the Lions win total at 6.5 if you can get it now. And, of course, bet your money on Aiden Hutchinson to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. I'll tell you why right after the break.
Hey, it's Scott from the Woodward Bet Show. We've been on fire lately with our best bets, so make sure you're checking us out. And also, you guys got to also check out oddstrader.com. It is the best site to check and shop all the odds at all the different sports books. It is such a great tool. All the player stats, game day odds, and everything else, live scoring that you need throughout the day. I love it. So make sure you're checking it out. And another thing, I love giving out winners. So let's give out a winner tonight. Let's go with the Colorado Rockies to beat the Kansas City Royals. Royals are one of the worst teams against left-handed pitching. I think Kyle Freeland has his way tonight. Woodward Bet Show, oddstrader.com. Check it out.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risks, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
Detroit has the best sports fans in the world. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the Woodward Sports Network.
Welcome back, and thanks for joining us on the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Also featured on The Roar on 99.1, 93.5, and 94.7 HD2. Guys, let's get into some Aiden Hutchinson talk.
All right, I'm going to tell you guys why Aiden Hutchinson will win Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Please.
It's a matter of data, odds, probability, history. Terry, I told you before the draft that of the previous 6 players since the year 2000 taken number 2 overall, only one you would question who were defensive linemen. Only one you could question didn't have an overwhelmingly successful career in terms of individual awards and really just individual play. And that was Chris Long, somebody who came out the gate a little slow, had a good 3-4 years where he was a really good defensive end, and then he fell off due to injuries. The rest is history. Well, I'm going to bring back that conversation. Terry, of the 6 players since the year 2000 drafted at the number 2 overall pick that were defensive linemen, how many of them do you believe won Rookie of the Year?
5.
5 of the 6. Number is correct,
Okay.
Terry. Von Miller and Ndamukong Suh, Julius Peppers, Chase Young, Nick Bosa. 5 of the 6. Aiden Hutchinson, now being the 7th player on the defensive line drafted since the year 2000. I think he continues that run. 5 out of the 6. He will be the 6th of the 7 to win it. I think it's a sure lock. This is a guy that I think, again, what's the competition this year? Last year it was Micah Parsons coming onto the scene, but that was a top 12 pick. That's not a guy that didn't come into the league with expectations. This is a guy that was drafted, well, probably near around where Aaron Donald was drafted not too long ago. So I look at who is Aiden Hutchinson's competition for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Obviously, Kayvon Thibodeau out in New York. That's the obvious choice. And then it's Sauce Gardner with the Jets. And it's Derek Stingley, even though he was injured with Houston. But Houston isn't going to be a good team. And is Derek Stingley going to contribute in a way where he's going to wow the league? I don't believe that to be the case. So, again, Aiden Hutchinson's my favorite to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. And he plays a position that's favorable. Who's the last corner to win a Defensive Rookie of the Year? Terry,
Charles
want to take a wild guess?
I have no idea. Charles Woodson.
The last rookie to win, the last corner to win Defensive Rookie of the Year was actually Marshawn Lattimore, 2017.
Okay.
2017, Marshawn Lattimore. But since the year 2000, only 2 players at the corner position have won the award. 2015, 2017, Marcus Peters and Marshawn Lattimore. Of the other 21 years, it's been edge players and linebackers. That's it. No safeties. Not a single
safety. You know
safety.
who his main competition is going to be?
Who?
Kayvon Thibodeau.
I think that's fair to say.
But here's the fly in the ointment. Aiden Hutchinson could be slightly better than Thibodeau and still not win the award because Thibodeau's playing in New York. He's already been hyped up by the
I don't feel the
national-
NFL has that issue.
It does.
Somebody
brother.
tweeted that to me.
Open your damn. Yes, they do. It does have that issue.
I don't think so. Last year, Micah Parsons, clear defensive winner. The year prior,
It was
Chase
clear.
Young,
It's clear.
Chase Young, Nick Bosa,
Okay,
Darius
dude,
Leonard.
You're saying clear. Listen to me. I'm saying he could be slightly better than Thibodeau and not get it. If he's clearly better than him, he'll win the award. Listen to me sometime.
I'm listening to you.
No,
I'm
you're
listening
not.
to
You
you.
don't listen. Because you're in your own damn world and you don't listen to me. You think I yell at you because I hate you. That's not true. I love you. I'm trying to help you. I don't want you to be like all these other zombies. Here, this is the way we think in sports. I want you to be your own damn man.
All right.
And I'm trying to broaden you sometimes.
All right. I'm hearing what I'm hearing what you're saying. Again.
No, you don't, because you throw stuff that I never said.
I didn't say anything.
If he's slightly better than him, he could win the award because of the New York stuff. And you say, well, if he's clearly better than him, yes, he'll win it.
Excuse me.
All right, go ahead.
Let me clarify.
We'll start all over.
Excuse me, Terry.
Okay, let's go.
I believe the NFL doesn't have this issue that the NBA does. Again, outside of, especially with the Rookie of the Year awards. Now, with MVP, we've seen journalists come out and voters come out and say, oh, yeah, well, I don't like this guy. He's a bad human. I'm not going to vote for him. I mean, it happens in every sport. I don't think the NFL consistently has had an issue.
They have not. Those you're describing the keepers of the gate.
Yeah, I just don't think they have an issue voting for who the best rookie is in a given year. Now, have there been years where it's been close? Yeah, I'll go back to the Nick Bosa year. That's the only sample size I found where I could make the argument, Terry, yeah, you're right. Maybe hype, but it also played a factor that the San Francisco 49ers that year were one of the best teams in football, and they ended up going to the Super Bowl because of Nick Bosa. He had 9 sacks, and if you want to line him up with players at, again, his position, Max Crosby that year, 10 sacks, Josh Allen, 10.5 sacks. And they finished 2nd and 4th, respectively, in the voting. But it wasn't even close. Nick Bosa overwhelmingly won by 86% of the votes. And those guys statistically had better numbers. But do I think it was hype? No, I think Nick Bosa joined the team. And they went from bottom feeders to Super Bowl contenders. So that's the one year where some guys finished with a little better numbers, but it was clear as day, hey, this guy... Was he the best player? I don't know. Statistically, he wasn't. But
well, and we're going to get back into the Cade Cunningham issue.
Oh, my God. That drives me nuts.
Where the Lions, not on primetime TV, correct?
Yes.
The Giants don't have to be on primetime TV to get eyes on their franchise because they're the Giants. They're in New York. I am simply saying that Aiden Hutchinson could lose the award if he's just a little bit better than Thibodeau because more eyes are on the Giants, more people care about the Giants. Now, if we're looking back and say, you know what, Aiden Hutchinson was the rookie this year, he'll win the award. I'm simply saying that Thibodeau's already being hyped up.
Will winning matter?
Huh?
I don't think winning will matter at all.
It shouldn't.
It shouldn't. I don't think it will, and it hasn't. And Dominican Sue, if I remember correctly, won Rookie of the Year. They were 6-10.
People throw in little caveats at the last minute, so it shouldn't matter. It should be production for Rookie of the Year. What did I do?
Of the rookies that were taken, let's say in the top 5, Sauce Gardner, Derek Stingley, Trayvon Walker, Kayvon Thibodeau. Of the 5, I think Aiden Hutchinson is in the best position to produce, I would say, at a Pro Bowl level.
I would agree with that.
And I believe that because he'll have the support on the interior line. The secondary, yes, is a question, but you're not going to have to worry about it because you expect, again, this team to improve so much. And there's also narrative, right? Narrative matters a lot. The Lions have finished bottom 4 in the league in terms of pass rushes and sacks over the last 6 years. If it just so happened that this team went from 28th, 31st, 30th, 32nd, 28th to suddenly 17th, 14th, and it was in this kid's rookie year, and he's sitting there with 9.5, 10 sacks, I don't think we're having a conversation. I think it's...
You know what your problem is? You think too rationally, and you think about what's honest and what's fair. I'm simply saying that honesty and fairness don't always apply.
That's fair.
Things get muddled, and it's for
Yeah,
silly
Aaron
reasons.
Rodgers shouldn't be a back-to-back MVP, in my opinion. He shouldn't.
Okay.
Cooper Kupp should have won the MVP, but hey, what do I know about football, right?
But he is.
What do I know about football? Aaron Rodgers MVP, baby. I can't believe it.
He's a jerk.
Joe Burrow was more of an MVP this year. Whatever. Well, we don't have to go revisit the last football season. Sorry, Terry.
right.
I get frustrated with some of these awards
I hear you,
because
but-
the voting doesn't make sense, just like the Cade Cunningham voting. Again, if it was a consistency award, fine. You want to punish Cade for the start of the year, you have to punish Evan for the end of the year. You have to punish Scotty Barnes for missing some games as well. You can't just only pick and choose, hey, we're going to punish Cade for November to December. Can't do that.
And then create reasons why he didn't deserve it. Well, he was a bad defender and he turned the ball over too much.
He was such a bad defender and turned the ball over so much, Terry, that he's the only player in NBA history outside of, I don't know, only Michael Jordan to put up 22, 5, and 5 in a month for a rookie. Not LeBron. Not Luka his rookie year. Only Jordan. Not Hakeem. Not Bird, not Magic, not what's his name? Allen Iverson, David Robinson, Shaq. Nobody. The only one to put up 22, 5, and 5 in a given month in his rookie year, Michael Jordan and now Cade Cunningham. Yeah, okay. Scotty Barnes, rookie of the year. Okay. What a joke. What a joke. I'm going to laugh at that one for a long time.
Jokes happen.
I'm going to laugh at that one for a long time. Speaking of laughing for a long time, I'll tell you where I wasn't laughing this morning. I was really happy, but I was not laughing. It was at the gym. I was at Planet Fitness this morning, getting my workout in. I hadn't worked out since Thursday of last week, so I'm already pretty sore right now because it's been a minute. But hey, we're on the road to recovery, getting my physical, mental health in shape, just like all of you should. You can see the sticker behind me. Ladies and gentlemen, we're in the Planet Fitness studios. Check them out, Planet Fitness at planetfitness.com, one of their many Metro Detroit locations. Go and sign up today, $0 down, $10 a month. Take your fitness seriously, and remember, your fitness is essential.
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio, 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart, right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
You have an opinion. opinion, make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Our friends at Alta Equipment know that when it comes to getting your job completed on budget and on schedule, uptime matters. That's why Alta Equipment has partnered with the biggest names in construction. If you've got a big project coming up, Alta Rents has you covered. With the most diverse rental fleet in Michigan, there's nothing your project can throw at you that Alta can't handle. Give them a call today at 844-GO-TO-ALTA. Alta Equipment, where uptime matters.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show. Terry?
Yes, sir.
Conference Finals MVPs. This is a new award they'll be handing out.
Yeah, I know that. The Magic Johnson.
Yep. Western Conference named after Magic Johnson. The Eastern Conference named after Larry Bird. Our good friend Isaac, the world of Isaac over on Twitter, polled who was a better player in their prime, Magic Johnson or Larry Bird. I voted Larry Bird, just the full context on the conversation. And the poll came out 78-22 Magic Johnson. And I was shocked. Now, I can respect somebody saying, hey, Magic was better. Fine. Like I can dig that conversation.
Where was Magic from? Magic
Oh,
grew up
Detroit.
in Michigan.
That is a very good point.
That's
Michigan State man. And I was, again, I didn't think it was that much of a difference. If I would have polled it, if he would have told me I had to say Magic was better, I would have given it 58-42. Maybe. I'm being very generous on that number. But I think it's like 55-45. I think it's really close. Larry Bird was really damn good, Terry. I don't know.
If I had to give a percentage, I was thinking along the same lines, 55-45. Because, first of all, back then you had the Lakers versus Celtics dynamic. More people in Detroit or Michigan like the Lakers better than they do the Celtics. So that's going to add to the that number. The other thing, if you go in Detroit during the conference finals, you will get more people watching the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals than you would the Detroit Red Wings playing in the conference finals. And so the Lakers are very popular here. Maybe not as much under LeBron James, but that has nothing to do with Magic and Bird. When the Lakers played at the Palace, even here, even though people don't go to the games anymore, there was this loud roar when the Lakers were making a run. Because people love Kobe, they love Magic, and so that franchise is really liked and hated in this state. So they're going to get a reaction, and I think that's another reason that Magic blew out Larry Bird 78. If I had to vote, I would have voted Magic Johnson.
Look, I'm sticking to my guns on Bird. I can respect the Magic Johnson conversation. He's amazing. I mean, the guy came into the league 79-80, 18-7-7. Just walked into the league, delivered a championship. 18-7-7. I believe that was the famous. He lined up at center in that finals, correct?
Against the 76ers.
So, look, Magic was a career 19-11 player. It was unbelievable, but Larry Bird was 24-10-6. It was no pushover either. I don't think it's that much of a disparity. Again, if you were to tell me 55-45 Magic, I might be like, all right, I'm okay with that. I could walk away from the conversation and be pretty good about it. But 78% of you actually think he's better?
This is his home state.
I don't give a damn.
He was better.
That much better? I don't think he's that much better.
Dude, just because 78% of people thought he was better doesn't mean it's disproportionate. Maybe that 78% said, he's just a little bit better, but I got to vote for Magic. That's why I think it's better. But the thing
I was expecting more love for Larry Bird.
People hated Boston here.
I don't know.
They hated
I wasn't born, so
Larry
I wasn't
Bird.
alive.
Who got into more confrontations with the Pistons?
Oh,
Larry Bird or Magic Johnson?
Larry
Bird.
That whole Isaiah thing, by the way, what the hell was that?
And he fired Isaiah. He didn't like him. Do you have to include?
That's a good point.
You have to include hate into the things. Like Sidney Crosby. Let's go to the NHL. If you had let's vote Sidney Crosby is one of the best players of all time. Guess where he's going to get a low percentage? Right here in Michigan. People can't stand him. In fact, I'll go back here. I'll tell my little stupid stories. I forget what year it was, but Canada plays USA in the gold medal game in hockey.
I wanted to stab
I had
myself.
an assignment from the newspaper. I had to go to Windsor and to write about what Canadians thought about the game. So I'm over there watching the game with Canadians. So I interviewed this
Traumatizing.
lady, and she said, "I'm happy Canada won, but why did that asshole Sidney Crosby have to score the game-winning goal?" That's the sentiment about him. So he's going to get a low percentage here, even though he might be great. That's the same with Larry Bird. Larry Bird chastised the Pistons more than Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson is from Michigan, so yeah, he's going to blow him out. Thank you. Because if you didn't pick up the table, Fish was going to have to. I'm glad you did.
I mean, I'm probably going to have to pick up this stuff
raised
anyway.
right, Terry.
So
Come on.
not worried
Good.
about it.
Happy to hear that.
My mom would have beat my ass.
But what you should do is, and not that people would care, but what would the percentage be in like Illinois or?
Oh, I'm sure it probably would have been flipped, actually. It's a very good point. Thank you. Probably would have been flipped.
Okay.
That is a very good point.
All right.
Yeah, again, I thought he didn't get enough love. I was offended. I was offended for him. Guy was a damn good player. I don't think the disparity was that much. I really
very
don't.
good. But now you're getting people who are commenting on it who never didn't see those two play. So they're.
I always
going
go by what my dad tells me about the two. Because my dad, I wasn't even born. My dad always told me Magic Johnson was one of his favorite players to watch, and Larry Bird was a motherfucker. His exact words to me. I think that's pretty spot on. I would agree with that. So, again, we're talking about two of the greatest players. The conference finals MVPs now moving forward will be named after each of them. Terry, they both came out at the same time. Magic had beaten him in college. Magic had beaten him in the NBA. They were both stacked teams, so I don't think we can have a conversation by saying, oh, well, Magic had Worthy and Kareem. Well, Bird had McHale. Bird had a team, too.
And Robert Parrish.
Parrish. So I think what that dynamic, that's once in a lifetime, isn't it? Two players of that caliber coming out the same year and dominate the same decade.
Right, and there was
in
other
this
dynamics.
Opposite conference.
One is with Boston, a franchise.
On the East Coast?
Right, on the East Coast, a franchise, one of the top franchise. And then the Lakers. And the Lakers had to build themselves up to become the Boston Celtics, so that played a role. You had the racial thing, the white guy in Boston, the black guy in L.A., that played a role in it too. People like Magic Johnson was not a guy that jumped out of the gym. He could run like hell, but they had similarities. Neither him or Bird were high flyers. They were both thinkers of the game. Their whole thing was, how do I make my teammates better too? But I think Bird was a little bit more individual than Magic.
Are we seeing the NBA maybe take a little bit of a step back in terms of athleticism and how important it really is? Not everybody jumps out of the gym, Terry. Everybody's fast. Everybody's explosive.
That is true. I think the NBA is more explosive now than it was in the 80s. Doesn't make you a better player.
And that's actually where I was going with it. I look at a player like Cade Cunningham. He's not jumping out of the gym impressing anybody.
No.
Luka Doncic. Guy looks like he's eating a McDonald's meal every single day.
Yeah.
And you can't stop him.
But then you got Ja Morant.
Of course.
And he's getting a lot of hype.
As he should, right? But we've seen that.
Oh, okay. All right. Somebody you guys like.
But we've seen that, right? Derrick Rose, and that's an unfortunate reality of being that explosive.
We saw two Derrick Roses. We saw the explosive Derrick Rose, and then we saw the Derrick Rose after knee problems.
Yeah,
Derrick Rose doesn't scare you with his athleticism now. He scares you more because he knows where to be. He's a solid player. He does the right things. That's why he scares you now.
Yeah, again, there are anomalies. There are players that are hyper explosive but are able to do everything else and play the game at a certain tempo. I look at Jason Tatum. He's not wowing you with athleticism, his ball handling, his ability to work off the pick and roll, hit a mid-range jumper, even distribute.
He semi-wows me. I'm not going to say he doesn't wow you. He semi-wows me. I'm going, okay.
I mean, these guys are athletes, don't get me wrong, but I mean, Jason Tatum, Luka Doncic. Look at the players that are in the conference finals right now. Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Klay Thompson. Are any of them wowing you athletically? No. You're not looking at them and saying, oh my goodness, how in the hell are we going to guard him? He can just get to the rim anytime he wants.
I think Jimmy Butler's that way because Jimmy Butler is an MFer.
He is.
He cusses out his teammates. He has to have things his way. He has a certain way he wants to go about things. So he is a guy that I fear I can't stop him. He can get to the cup whenever he wants to.
I'm okay with that. But again,
Luka's one of those, but he's not doing it by, jumping out of the,
when we talk about athletes, Russell Westbrooks, your John Morans, Derrick Rose, LeBron James, these freakish athletes, even James Harden back then, back in his offensive scoring prime, he wasn't wowing you with explosion. He was wowing you with skill, ball handling, and an ability to shoot the three-pointer.
And maybe cheating a little bit. And
that traveling move,
Right.
It is a traveling move. I don't care what anybody tells me. That's a ridiculous move. The league it's kind of interesting because you see
80s?
players like Zach LaVine, right? Explosive.
Right.
What is that doing for me? You can only get to the rim so many times a game before it just takes a toll on your body. Game's a physical game. May not be as physical as it was before, but it's taxing. It's taxing to be an explosive player, and you see players like Luka pacing themselves throughout the game and absolutely killing you. It works, and you know what, Detroit, you may have that player in Cade Cunningham, who's very similar in my opinion. We need to take a short break. When we get back, Terry and I will discuss what Detroit Lions fans should expect from Dan Campbell going into year 2. But before we do, I got to tell you about Gypsy Vodka. It's Michigan's vodka. It's gluten-free. Check them out. They're locally owned and operated. Grab a bottle by asking for it by the name of Gypsy. Of course, again, Gypsy Vodka, Michigan's vodka, gluten-free. Go to gypsyvodka.com. Follow them on social media. And as always, please drink responsibly.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Strawberry Fest is back at Big Boy. We brought back some of the classic breakfast items like the strawberry French toast, hot cakes, and waffle. If you're not feeling breakfast, try our new strawberry bacon chicken wrap, crispy chicken wrap, nacho wrap, or strawberry salad. The perfect recipe for springtime. And don't forget to grab dessert, including our berry delicious strawberry pie for only $1.99 with the purchase of $7.99 or more at participating Big Boy locations.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Well, you guys know I love going to Chili Peppers Tanning, and they are celebrating 20 years of sunshine this month. Join Big D Energy's Darren McCarty and Neil Rule on Friday, May 20th from 11 to 1 at their Troy location on John R. for their 20th anniversary. They even have a grand prize contest to win $20,000. Get your tan on at any of their 26 locations all month. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning.
Chili Peppers tan.
God bless you, Fish. We are back here on the Morning Woodward Show. Terry Foster, myself, Fish, Maddie, and Alex. Guys, what should Detroit Lions fans expect from Dan Campbell year 2? Terry, I'm very interested to hear what you have to say on this, because I think the message I'm going to deliver is obviously very reasonable. Not that yours probably won't be, but I am curious what you believe this fan base and really just football people in general should expect from a second-year head coach.
I think based on what you saw in the locker room, based on the fact that they were able to change a long-standing culture that was toxic with the Detroit Lions, I think after year 1, you should be able to see some progress in the win-loss column. You should see them. You should expect them to win 7 or 8 games. Anything short of that should be unacceptable. That would be same old Lions to me. But that's what you should see, because a lot of progress was made during the season where they didn't win many games, and we can say, oh, they're right there, they're right there. You can't be saying this year, well, they're right there. No, you got to win some more ball games. That's what you should expect. And the other thing you should expect is, I think by Thanksgiving, everybody should look at Dan Campbell and say, you know what? This is a coach, or he's not a coach.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Terry, me and you are in lockstep regarding the wins. Again, the wins are going to matter. I think the minimum you can get, and you can get away with it, even though you'll still be under pressure going into year 3, in my opinion, is 6. I would be disappointed with 6 because the schedule. I think the talent's there. I think the ability to play the game that I don't think many teams will be able to play this year is an advantage. What teams are going to be able to run the ball? I mean, we saw the Titans basically lock up the number 1 seed doing this. Now, do you have the defense the Titans have? Do you have the head coach the Titans have? Maybe not. But you may. Dan Campbell may be the next Mike Vrabel. Who knows? Right? There's just a lot of questions going into the year. But what I would say, Terry, is if Dan Campbell is that guy, and that guy doesn't need to be an all-timer. Let's just say he's just a good coach to very good coach. I don't think we're here talking about 6, 7, 8 wins. This is a football team I believe can win 8, 9, 10 games if that guy in the locker room is a legitimate head coach. I think it's inevitable. You have the schedule in your favor. Majority of your games are home games. You have a good start to the season. Your first 5 games, you're not getting blown out by any of these teams. You're going to be in these ball games. Now, are you going to win all 5 of them? I mean, very unlikely. But the point is, there are a lot of games this year where you're going to be able to win. As Alex is jamming right now, God, that music is so loud. Jesus Christ. All right. Back to my point. Sorry, I'm distracted by, who is this singing? Isn't that the white dude? Oasis, yeah. There you go.
The white dude, like there's only one white singer in America.
It's Wonderwall.
Whatever. Point is
that white guy?
The point is, there's a lot of talk, Terry, on Jared Goff, and, is he I don't think he is the future, just my opinion. I don't need him to be the future, and I don't need Dan Campbell to go out and win 13 games this year. If he does, Jesus Christ, that's impressive. There are things you want to see. Player development. I want to see better coaching decisions in the 2-minute warning. I don't want to see this team literally fumbling away games. I don't want to see this team going for it on 4th and 1, 4th and inches at their own 13-yard line in the first quarter, second quarter. I don't want to see that. I don't care if you're down by 3 or 10 or 7. I don't care. The odds of you winning are much higher if you just change the field and get the ball back. It's that simple. And even if the analytics are telling you, hey, you have a 58% chance at winning instead of a 55% chance at winning if you go for it here and convert, do I really need that 3%, given what the hell could happen if I don't get it? Like, there's so much more behind the analytics that, people only share with the win probability. Well, what about what happens if you don't get it? What happens then?
What about the common sense? But with that said, I still think they need to be more aggressive than the average NFL team to pull this off.
I think they'll be top 3, and they should be top 3 in terms of fourth downs gone for. Unless I think they just become extremely efficient on third down. They were the worst third down team last year. The worst. They went for it on fourth down a lot, not only because they were aggressive. They sucked on third down. Third down was a throwaway down. They just did nothing on it. Fourth down became the new third down for this team. It was unbelievable. So I expect this team to be better on third down this year. I expect Jared Goff, if healthy, to have a good season. If you ask me for numbers, I would tell you, I would say 3,800 yards, 24 touchdown passes, and I'd like to see less than 12 interceptions. And I think that's a solid year. And I think if that's your stat line from your quarterback, Terry, we're really having a conversation here why this team can't win 7, 8, 9 games?
No, if he can do that, we're not having that conversation because it's going to happen. And he could actually pass for a fewer yards if that running game is really stout. A lot of times in the NFL, some quarterbacks get over 4,000. It's because they're trailing for much of the game. If you're ahead for much of the game, maybe you pass for 40 or 50 yards, fewer yards during a typical game. So I don't look at passing yards all the time as far as judging if a quarterback is having a good year. It should be yards per attempt. What does he do when it's important, like the last part of a game or something like that? But if you're playing from ahead all the time or you're playing with the lead, you don't need to pass the ball.
Yeah, but a lot. Again, guys, you're giving a lot of credit here to the Lions being quote unquote aggressive and not stupid. Yes, they went for it the most in all of the NFL. Of the 41 times they did it, they converted 21 times, which is roughly 51.2%. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. That is 20th best in the league in terms of fourth down conversion percentage. Ravens converted 67% of the time. Chiefs 67% of the time. Bengals 65% of the time.
How many times
did they do it? The Chargers, by the way, who you killed last year, and Brandon Staley went for it 34 times, second only to the Lions. They converted 65% of the time. Compare 65%, 50%. There's a big difference. You can't just go for it to go for it this year. If you're going to be aggressive, be aggressive. Stick to it like the Chargers did. I have no problem with that. Just don't be stupid. Don't go for it in the first quarter on your own 31-yard line. Not necessary. Just not necessary.
No, that is not necessary.
Unless you truly believe you can get it, you better be ready to deal with the consequences.
See, it sounds like a little bit in the back of your head, you want to back down a little bit.
I do want them to take a step back. I want them to be aggressive this year. Do I want them to have the most fourth down attempts? No. Why would no? Be efficient on third down, Terry. Be efficient on third down. The Chiefs only were.
Yeah, you're right. But the Lions, what they failed to do, 3rd and 1, run the football. They can't make it. Now this year, 3rd and 1, they got to run the football and make it. And maybe you don't have all these fourth down, wacky, whizzy things that you have to do. They're awful on third down. And I've heard people, well, on 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 3, why did they pass? Because they had to. They had no other choice.
Yeah, again, they were a really bad team this year. And when you're a team that's involved in games. Let's be honest, you do now have a little bit of expectation. Going for on fourth down is much more difficult. And do I want him to stay aggressive? Yes. Do I prefer him to win and lose games playing his way? Yes. But I don't want to see them at the top of the fourth down go for it charts. No. Go for it less and still go for it. You can be aggressive like the Chargers were and be a winning team, but hey, just so you know, if you convert on third down, you don't have to do this.
No, that's true. That 41 number is too high.
I would like to see it at 28, 30, 32 I would accept. Don't get near 40.
It doesn't mean you're not being aggressive. What it means is you're not in that position as much. You're not, because you converted third down.
Let's say they lose 10 games. Is it crazy for me to say in those 10 games they go for it in each game, on average twice, right?
Yeah, okay.
Am I crazy to say
live with
that? You have to, right? You're losing a game.
Sure.
All right, that's 20. What about the other 7 games? Let's say they win those 7 games. On average, let's say they go for it 1.5 times a game. All right, what is that? Well, that's another 10, and that's 30. You get between 30 and 32, I'm very happy with that number this year in terms of fourth down attempts. But 41, stay the hell away, get better on third down, which I expect them to be this year. And I think this is a football team and a coach that you can expect to win you games this year. This isn't same old. I don't want to hear same old line stuff. I just don't, Terry. Has the GM done a good job of bringing in talent?
Yes.
All right, coaching. It's up to you now to coach up that talent, make the players around you better, and put players in a position to be successful. That's the coach's job. And if the coach isn't doing it, well, I know what the issue is. And if the coach is, and Jared Goff can't complete a pass, or they can't run block, or the receivers can't catch, or the corners can't cover, or you can't put any pressure, all right, we're having a different conversation. But I don't want to hear same old lines, Terry.
You know what you have in common with Corey Woods? When you talk about the Lions, your voice becomes high pitch. You're high pitch, Adam.
Oh, am I?
And he's high pitch, Corey.
Corey gets really high pitch.
No, his is really. And man, the Lions, they're gonna win this year. I'm serious.
I'm sorry, Corey.
He gets way out there. You're not that bad.
Oh God.
But he's like, oh man, I really like the Lions this year. Damn it.
Oh God. All right. Well, we're gonna take a quick break. When we get back, I do want to bring up Jim Caldwell and Dan Campbell.
Man, again.
There are two Jims. I just want to compare their times here. I want to compare Schwartz and Caldwell with Campbell going into year 2. I just want to throw some things at you, Terry, and I want your opinion. But before we do, Maddie, could you tell everybody at home about the good work the people over at the Sports Marketing Agency are doing?
Yes, I can. Our friends at the Sports Marketing Agency help spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast, This is the F Word, helps spread awareness of fentanyl and other addictions. Go to thesportsma.com if you are struggling or know anyone who is, and let them know that Woodward Sports sent you.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
If you are looking for something fun to do this week or this upcoming weekend, look no further than the Fulling Warehouse in Hamtramck. That's where the home of the original football bowling pin game called Fulling is located. They've got 2 ways to play, $12 unlimited open play, or you can reserve a private lane for just $120. Don't forget, of course, they have a $2 mystery beer machine as well as multiple full bars. Check it out at thefullingwarehouse.com.
All right, we're back. 9:44, 6 minutes till we get to mailbag. So, Terry, I'll just make it very short and sweet.
Thank goodness.
Going into year 2, off of Jim Schwartz. It was an awful first year. Matthew Stafford was injured for a majority of it. It wound up being that he would be hurt for his second year as well. Going into year 2 with Jim Schwartz, I don't think there was much expectation, let alone, I would say, the expectation that Dan Campbell has. Is that fair to say?
Oh, that's tough. That's a tough one. I think that the reason you have so much expectations with the Lions is, yes, they like the drafts and everything, but this team has been so beaten down that expectations turned into unrealistic expectations. Expectations outside Detroit are not that great about the Lions.
6.5 Vegas
Once
win
again,
total. Yep.
Vegas is telling us the Lions are going to have the number 4 pick in the draft next year. Is that great expectations? No. But if you talk to people here in Detroit who are Lions fans, they say, some are going as far as to say they can win 12 games this year.
Ryan Armani.
Did Ryan really say that?
He said 10.
Oh, okay. That's not awful. As long as he didn't say 12. He doesn't get hit in the head with a baseball bat.
No,
but
he said 10 wins.
Fair enough. Fair enough on Schwartz. I think there's a big difference, though, between Schwartz, Campbell, and Caldwell. Caldwell inherited the tail end of the Schwartz team. That was actually pretty talented. The problem Jim Caldwell had going into year 2 was they were 11-5 year 1. They had just lost to the Saints in the playoffs. People were expecting this team to win the division, and I think rightly so. And obviously they underachieved. They went 7-9 after a good start to the year. But the point is, Terry, I don't think expectations have been that high on a football team in Detroit since the 2015 season. Or going into it, excuse me. Because 2015 was a disaster. They were 7-9. But I don't think expectations have been this positive, this optimistic since 2015.
And the reason is, I don't think it has to do with the coaches.
It's been that bad.
I think it has to do with leadership. The reason the Lions were never able to achieve greatness, I think it was because of the front office, because of ownership, because of who was in charge, and the coaches had to try to overcome that, and they didn't have the talent and I'm talking about the coaches didn't have the game plan or whatever you want to call it to overcome bad management. Now, for the first time, people are like, you know what? I'm looking at Lions management, and I'm like, okay, I can live with that. That's pretty damn good. So that puts Dan Campbell in a better position than all the other coaches in Lions history. Because even in the 90s, and everybody likes to go to the 90s, I didn't have faith in Lions management. I thought they were incompetent. But they got some good players in there, and they took advantage of last place schedules.
You know what? What's funny about that, Terry, is they had a great player. And they had a great player and one of the greatest players at a position that back then in the NFL, if you had that position, you were winning 8-9 games minimum. Sure. If you had a running back, you were a contending team. Mm-hmm. That's just the NFL back in the
This was not just an outstanding player. This may have been
the best running back of all time, in my opinion.
May have been. Of course, they're going to argue with you because that guy didn't care about stats, so he left before he should have, or before he had another 3 years where he could have gotten 3,000 yards or probably 1,200 yards a season, but that didn't matter to him. Yep. Emmitt Smith, it mattered to him. So that's why you get goofy people say, "Oh, Emmitt Smith was better than Barry Sanders."
I would love to meet people like that. Because I have so many baseball bats in my garage. I would love to just hit some people.
Well,
Emmitt Smith,
don't
a better
hit him with a baseball bat. Why don't you just educate him? Put him in a classroom.
That seems so complicated, man. If they can't get educated in middle school and elementary school, how the hell you want me to educate them, Terry?
Well, I think if you put on your little smoking jacket, put your little glasses on, and get it in front of a chalkboard, or
I think I could break it down. That's fair enough.
You could break it down to them, and you could convince them.
That's fair enough. Fair enough. It's mailbag time. Get your questions in the chat. Whatever questions you have for myself or Terry, get them in the chat now. But before we go, I got to tell you about where I got my haircut over the weekend, which was Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Yes, I looked like a grizzly bear. Yes, I fully acknowledge I looked like a disaster last week, and now I think I look a lot better. Now, it's not the prettiest sight in the world. I totally agree here. But they took care of me. Cleaned up my beard, cleaned up my hair, and they gave me a hot lather neck shave. Treat me like a king, and they will treat you like one too. Walk in anytime, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Lady Jane's. It's wicked awesome.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Brandon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
Glad that we can finally start trying to get the stigma off of mental health that's been there for all these years.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Putting on a show here, and that's how you answer. We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports.
OddsTrader.com is the #1 site for all of your game day bets. For play-by-play updates, live scores, and bet tracking, download OddsTrader from the App Store today. For the best price on every game and sign-up offers for multiple sports books, visit OddsTrader.com.
Oh, mailbag time. My
Why
favorite.
is Adam so unprofessional? I just don't get it.
I can't help it, Terry. Sorry.
He likes to,
I'm trying to encourage her.
No, I think you're
Encourage
trying to spook her.
She's doing
Spook.
great.
I don't
She's
get
doing great.
Well, he's
You know
trying.
what's the best thing I saw last Thursday, by the way? You know how every team had their own theme? The Lions had their own video release for the team schedule. The Los Angeles Chargers did like this whole anime skit, which was amazing, by the way. But they had some low-hanging fruit. You know, those, what do they call them? I forget the terminology, but it's something where, they'll hide it from you and see if you can get it, like a nugget, right?
Oh, yes.
So they're going to hide these little nuggets. The first one being the Jacksonville Jaguars one, where it was Urban Meyer sitting with that girl on his lap. And that's who they made it after. And then the one later on was about the Seahawks with a gravesite, and it was the Legion of Boom. And then it was Russell Wilson. It was a bunch of... It was just so great to see the Los Angeles Chargers social media team and their video team. Round of applause.
Knocked it out of the park.
Knocked it out of the park. That was some of the best stuff I have ever seen on social media. 10 out of 10. Easter eggs. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you for the help.
Have you seen
there.
the Green Bay Packers t-shirt?
I have not.
The Green Bay Packers t-shirt, there's one of a guy who's a Packer fan sitting on a toilet, and the toilet seat is a Chicago Bear emblem. The toilet paper is the Minnesota Vikings, and the Lions are like the... No, they're not the sink. They're like the toilet water that you poop in. That's the t-shirt. So it's dumping on all the teams.
Like that.
That's creative.
That's a pretty creative. I can get behind it. All right, let's start with some questions in the chat. Should the Pistons target Levine or Ayton if they would make if so, would they make the playoffs with either? They should not target Zach LaVine, in my opinion. You don't need another ball-dominant ball handler unless he's a clear number 2 that can be a star, all-star in this league. Zach LaVine, yes, is very nice, but I have questions on LaVine. I'd prefer Ayton, even though he's a restricted free agent. Terry, what other questions do we have in here?
I'd go for LaVine.
Yeah?
You need more than one ball handler, and but you got to get it straight between. He's going to come here.
It's a lot of money.
I understand that, but this is Cade Cunningham's team. Now, if he's unable to accept that, you obviously cannot sign him. But I like guys who can handle the ball. I think Levine is exceptional, and maybe it's because I only see him play against the Pistons, and he looks like LeBron James and Magic Johnson all rolled into one.
All right. Which Detroit sport athlete is the most hated nationally, like Sidney Crosby is?
I don't know if we have anybody right now. 'Cause that's an indictment of how awful the Detroit sports is. Usually we have somebody that nationally people just hate. But I'm thinking about the Tigers. What Tiger would you hate? Nobody. Miguel is going out, getting his little
He's getting his going away package.
He's a smiling guy, so you don't hate him. The Lions, there's nobody on the Lions that you would hate. It's got to be Red Wings.
I think they're.
What about Isaiah Stewart? Because he wanted to beat up LeBron James.
Yeah, but he sucks.
He sucks.
No offense, Beef Stew, but you suck, man. You have no offensive game. Like this
team, want to beat up LeBron though.
We're having a conversation about DeAndre Ayton because Beef Stew is a good off the bench 8 minutes a game, punch somebody in the face and get sent off the court guy. That's it.
Okay, but if he's gonna punch somebody in the face, that could be the guy that you hate.
It could be when the team is winning and he punches or kicks somebody in the balls in the playoffs. That's the only time
I
that'll
would
happen.
say nobody.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Nobody that you would hate nationally from the Detroit teams.
All right. Question. This is an interesting question. Once the Lions beat the Vikings this year, will the players get a ring with the score on? Guys, I like it. Keep it coming this morning. All right.
Now, when they beat the Packers, they'll get that ring.
Could Aiden and Jamison Williams both win Offensive and Defensive Rookie of the Year? I would say no. I don't think that's a possibility. I think Aiden, you can book it for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Jamison is going to miss 4 to 5 games likely, right? He's going to have that going against him. You look at the other offensive weapons around the league that are rookies. You have Kenneth Walker out in Seattle. He's going to get a lot of usage. You look at the quarterback. That's always the position that you look at with Kenny Pickett. If he has a solid year, 3,200, 3,400 yards, 20-plus touchdowns, he could be in the running for Rookie of the Year. You look at the wide receivers, Drake London. You have Chris Olave. You even have Washington. They drafted Jahan Dotson. He could have a sneaky year. So I think Offensive Rookie of the Year is going to be tough for Jamison unless he walks into the league after missing those games and just takes the league by storm. And I don't know if I see that happening year one.
No, and then he'll be punished even if he takes the league by storm and they don't win. I think that's the lion tax. A lot of people won't vote for him because they say he came in late, he put up numbers on a bad team. Not going to give him that love. But I think Aiden Hutchinson, who will play from day one, has a much better chance. But his main competition is going to be Thibodeau.
I'm okay with that. All time, who do you believe is the most hated Detroit sports athlete? Is it Lambier?
I was thinking Bill Lambier. I'm going to have to think a little longer on that. But my first reaction was Bill Lambier.
Bill Lambier, I would...
Because he wanted to be hated.
Yeah. He was so good at being hated. It has to be Lambier. I don't think anybody ever reached that level. Isaiah may be close, but there's so much appreciation for his game that you don't hate him, right?
Yeah, but he had the failed CBA thing that people are not happy about. He did have to be a dick to put the Pistons in position to be a championship contender. So people are going to hate him for that. But Bill Lambier went front and center. No, bring it to me. So I think that's why he's and Bill Lambier was the one fight. He had more fights than Isaiah. He fought Charles Barkley, he fought Larry Bird.
Yep.
So
all right. Last question. If the Lions win 10 games, is it more because of the offense or defense? I would say it would be because of the offense. Last year, you guys all know the famous number. If they score 20 points in all the games, there's an additional 4, 5, 6 wins, something like that on the schedule. If the offense gets going, and this is an offense that controls the clock, is efficient on 3rd and 4th down, can get you points, yeah, you're going to be in a good position to win a lot of games this year because you look at that schedule up and down. A lot of the offenses aren't that intimidating. I think the defense will look a lot better this year. I think it's a friendly schedule. That's it for today. It's 10 o'clock. All of you have a great
I agree.
Monday. Thank you, Terry. I love when you agree. Everybody have a great Monday. Good to be back, Fish, Maddie, Alex. Nice seeing all of you again. We will see you Tuesday. Get the hell out of here and go enjoy the nice weather on a nice Monday here in Detroit.
Have a great day and more football day.